What up, y'all? Welcome back to the next episode of Don't Do That, right here on Wicked Wednesdays.
On 16 TV.
Yes, yes.
And today, we get a little wicked, but not really that wicked. Just a little wicked.
We always got to keep it a little wicked, little interesting, a little bit of something, a little bit of splash, a little bit of everything that goes on here.
A little flash, little banana.
Anyways, all right, so we don't forget this time, goofball. All right, House of Dank. Okay.
Smoke up the app.
I forgot it Monday. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. But
that is, though, the spot.
It was a Fire Stick. It was Green Fury for last week. For Monday. This is my other Fire Stick.
Luckily, we still
Tiger
have
Breath.
Mondays in here.
Yeah.
So we can tell you what it was.
Well, yeah.
And you want me to start?
No, I'll go ahead and start this time. Yeah.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Well, again, another thing with President Trump here. All right, because he be trumping and just sticking his nose where it don't belong anyway. So, President Trump is considering executive order to address payments to college athletes. That's going to be under the name, image, and likeness, the new that they get provided for. Or I'm not entirely sure how that works, but I felt the need to speak on it because, well, at the end of the day, however it may work, these kids are here for people's entertainment, so they justifiably deserve something out of it. Okay, not just free schooling. Okay, some of these kids actually have families to take care of, and they are the actual person that's making a breadwinner for their family. Now, Trump's review of the matter comes around a conversation he had with the former University Alabama football coach Nick Saban on May 1st. Now, when Trump was in the Tuscaloosa to speak at the university's commencement ceremonies. Now, the order could potentially add oversight to name, image, and likeness that has exploded across the college athletics with few regulations, although how the order would address NIL was not immediately clear because they don't ever have a clear plan when they want to do stuff, they want to speak on it. Now, Saban has been critical of the current state of college sports, including the roundtable event in Washington that was hosted by Senator Ted Cruz in March of 24, as part of Cruz's ongoing efforts to craft college sports legislation that can pass Congress. Now, Saban, at the time, the athlete's personal development was being hindered by the combination of virtually unregulated opportunities for athletes to make money from their name, image, and likeness, and their ability to transfer multiple times in their college careers. He also called for rules that create some kind of competitive balance, which right now we don't have in college athletes. It's whoever wants to pay the most money, raise the most money, and buy the most players is going to have the best opportunity to win. I don't think that's the spirit of college athletes. So college football is considered to be the heart and soul of America, but it's in danger if we don't level the playing field. Now, I'm going to leave it at that.
Can I say something?
You can absolutely say something because you are more involved in some of the sports than I am and know a little bit more.
Why are we worried about this when there are so many other things that need to be taken care of?
Taken care of.
Taken care of. What the hell? Why are you worried about that?
It is not an important.
That's not important.
At the end of the day, if you're going to change anything about it,
man.
If you're going to change anything about it, because again, like I said, these kids are having fun and making better for themselves at the same time.
With the laundry list of things that there is to worry about, how far down on the list do you think this is? Leveling the playing field in college basketball, college football, college hockey, tennis, whatever. You know what's more important? Not bullying people out of their federal funding because they don't agree with your views. sending people out of the country, deporting them when they're American citizens.
Due process, bro. And at the end of the day, due process is due process for everybody. When they want to throw the Constitution involved in it, and you want to be a stickler for words, right? Because kids can't have black
success program because it says black in it.
So we're going to go back to
movement.
The actual Constitution. It says nothing about citizens of the United States or citizen of anything. It says anybody that's here. Since you want to throw all that historical shit out there and you want to call me a race baiter, this, and that I need more education and I'm what was I called? Oh, a communist, because I feel if you work for something, you deserve something.
Isn't that how?
Is there not?
Isn't that how we all grew up before they changed into this sissified America that we have now, where you get participation trophies and you don't even have to earn your keep, where we have rappers who really don't even have to rap. They could just get on YouTube and go, you, and y'all will react. And people that actually worked hard on learning how to master their craft, it don't matter no more because y'all so pussified. And when the NBA used to be the NBA, and now we got a king. Is this your king that flops all over the whole damn?
Oh, well, that's right. How many rings does Jordan have? Six, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many does LeBron have? Okay, then. Crickets.
Not 6.
Crickets still. He ain't got more. He ain't got more. And did he take a break yet? Has he taken his 2-year break yet, like Jordan did, and they came back?
What's his finals record?
I don't know. I don't keep up with his shit.
It ain't like Mike's.
I don't keep with none of it, to be honest.
Like Mike.
I just know that
his ain't like Mike's.
I just know his stuff is enough.
But yeah.
Here we go.
Just yeah, but
yeah, go on. Yeah, we need this.
We got racist acts in Georgia. Okay.
We have racist acts.
I'm just gonna give you a small couple tidbits, and then we're gonna cut back over the pots. But there was a young gentleman, Caucasian gentleman, who had a young black girl come to his door while he was not at home. The little girl and her cousin decided that they wanted to go around the neighborhood. They live in the suburbs. Somehow their mother or father, however the situation is, they made it out to the suburbs. They live in better. And so they decided they wanted to come home from school and they wanted to sell candy door to door in their neighborhood.
Okay.
They wanted to be industrious.
Want to make some little money on the side.
Little entrepreneurs,
okay, not
like
mad.
setting up a lemonade stand or something. But they wanted to go door to door and sell toys and sell candy.
Okay, something we used to
come
do
to Mr.
when we were
Chambers.
Kids. Okay.
They come to Mr. Chambers' door, however, and Mr. Chambers was not at home, but his Ring camera did catch the little girl on camera. To which he goes into a Facebook group,
a community Facebook
group. Okay. And he says, lucky I wasn't home, or I would have, and I'm paraphrasing, shot your little black dump. Little girl's 13. He wasn't at home. She wasn't doing anything but knocking on the door. She wasn't trying to break in or anything. But this situation has gone viral. It is all over the internet. And that's what this show is about. We want to keep you relaxed, but we want to keep you informed. So another little tidbit I'm gonna hit you with. Yeah, Yeah, he said he was going to shoot a 13-year-old girl, and then he had to take it down. But a lot of people had screenshotted what he said already in the group,
Yeah.
and now there's a whole
Whole
situation against him.
situation.
And he's kind of like Miss Shyla, where he had to leave his home because people were so upset with him that they had doxed his address. Well, that's what happens
When you
when
threaten
you're a
to
racist piece of
shoot
crap,
at you,
and you
threaten
threaten
to
a
shoot her.
5-year-old and call him an N-word, or you threaten a 13-year-old with
Like you're about to
shooting
shoot
them.
her for selling candy. Now, before anybody starts blowing up and asks, well, what had happened, and all this other good jazz, when Mom was talking about it, and she had to reprimand her child about it because she found out later, did the child, because now, mind you, obviously, if we heard that, that you would actually, no matter whether or not what words were said, you threatened to shoot it, that you would actually shoot her. She did call him, what was it, a punk B word or whatever.
He wasn't home.
He wasn't home. He called,
Awesome.
he called her, she said something punk B word. But now, mind you, mother did not know that. She did reprimand her child for that. But even if, again, like I said, because you already know people are going to say something.
13-year-old child.
Grown
man.
Exactly.
Homeowner. Okay.
Exactly. No, yeah, I know.
The other little tidbit before we cut back to Potts is another racist act in Georgia. Okay. So
Georgia.
In Georgia.
You ain't looking
peachy.
On
this before. Did I speak on this before? I think I did. I don't know. It's just a little quick tidbit, just in case you didn't see the other episode.
There's so much.
Where a little Caucasian young man comes into a classroom and disrobes and shows that he has a shirt that says, I heart being a black woman. To which his mother is an educator at the facility as well. She left her class to come into her son's class to watch him, put on this display. And she egged it on, and she laughed and smiled with the other students that weren't the two black students, the only two students that of color in the class. And one of those students called their mother, saying that they needed to be picked up. They needed to be picked up. They didn't feel comfortable, and that's how this situation went viral as well. So this seems to be a whole little pattern going on here.
This is where when people think about it and they're like, wow, this is why we don't trust white women. This is why we don't trust white people. And, well, that white woman raised her white young man who's going to grow up to be a man with that kind of attitude.
Put on a display like that.
That's the reason why you raise oppressors. This is where people have to understand that, okay, yeah, white women, they don't have much, but you have more power than you really want to admit to. Because you raise these young men into what they are when they're adults. Congratulations, guys.
It's just unnecessary to be so hateful and so intentionally
disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, exactly. Well, here's a disgusting little tidbit, because like I said, every episode I was going to do this, and I've been doctoring the names because Monday was the beginning.
Was Trayvon?
Yeah. Here's the one after Trayvon. Okay. On April 12th, 2015, Freddie Carlos Gray Jr., a 25-year-old African-American, was arrested by Baltimore Police Department for possession of a knife. While in police custody, Gray sustained fatal injuries and was taken to the R. Adams Coley Shock Trauma Center. Gray's death on April 19th, 2015, was ascribed to injuries to his cervical spinal cord. Now, filmed by two witnesses to Gray's arrest, store video of police van. Now, 6 Baltimore police officers were involved in this. All right. The accused are Caesar R. Goodson Jr., Willie G. Porter, Brian W. Rice, Edward M. Narrow, Garrett Miller, Alicia D. White. Charges: Goodson, second-degree depraved heart murder. Just didn't care. Didn't care what happened, basically. That's what that means. Others: involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, manslaughter by vehicle, misconduct in office, reckless endangerment, and false imprisonment.
Wow.
Verdict: Goodson, Nero, and Rice,
Wow.
not guilty. Porter, mistrial, followed by charges being dropped. Miller and White, charges dropped. Damn it, here comes the litigation. Again, if you're not guilty,
why do you need to litigate?
What's litigation for? So, the city of Baltimore settled at $6.4 million prior to Gray's family filing to sue. Pending an investigation on the incident, 6 Baltimore police officers were suspended. Commissioner Anthony W. Batts reported that officers had not secured Gray inside the van while driving to the police station, contrary to a policy that had been put into effect 6 days prior to Gray's arrest. The medical examiner's office concluded that Gray's death could not be ruled an accident and was instead a homicide because officers failed to follow safety procedures. Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby announced her office had filed charges against 6 police officers after the medical examiner's report ruled Gray's death a homicide. Prosecutors found probable cause to file criminal charges against the 6 police officers who were believed to be involved in his death. The officer driving the van was charged with second-degree depraved heart murder for his indifference to the considerable risk that Gray might be killed, and others were charged with crimes ranging from manslaughter to illegal arrest. A grand jury indicted the officers on most of the original charges filed by Mosby, with the exception of the charges of illegal imprisonment and false arrest, and added charges of reckless endangerment to all officers involved. Gray's hospitalization and subsequent death resulted in a series of protests. A major protest in downtown Baltimore turned violent, resulting in 34 arrests and injuries to 15 police officers. After Gray's funeral, civil disorder intensified with looting and burning of local businesses and a CVS drugstore, culminating with a state of emergency declaration by Governor Larry Hogan, Maryland and National Guard deployment to Baltimore, and the establishment of a curfew on May 3rd. The National Guard started withdrawing from Baltimore, and on that night, the curfew of the city was lifted. In September 2015, it was decided that there would be separate trials for the accused. The trial against Officer William Porter ended in mistrial. Officer Nero, Goodson, and Rice were acquitted. The charges against the 2 remaining officers were dropped. On September 12, 2017, the U.S. Department of Justice announced it would not bring federal charges against the 6 Baltimore police officers involved in the arrest and death in custody of Gray. A big F you.
Wow. So let me say this, with all of the tools that police have at their disposal, with all of the training that y'all are supposed to have, wow, the deaths.
My thing, and again, we go back to the charges, right?
Aren't y'all trained to?
We go back to the charges, right? Because again, did not proceed with safety protocol. All right. Now, mind you, okay, whatever. The implementing the safety protocols just happened a week prior. Oh, whatever. What the fuck? Whatever. Anyways, fine. To the main point then, since you want to use that as an excuse. Now, here comes the charges of manslaughter. Last I knew, again, I'm not Einstein here, but I'm not stupid. All right, manslaughter means you didn't mean to do it, meaning it was an accident. Why were the charges dropped?
Breaking somebody's spine, somebody's
I mean,
back.
spinal cord was... How did that even happen anyways?
Accident?
to begin
had
with.
to be quite intentional. I
How?
mean, what were you doing?
What were you doing that was
that was an accident that happened? What? How?
And there was no safety protocols.
Safety protocols to break a man's back. What was you? I mean, you were subduing him like Bane from Batman or Dark Knight Rises.
No, apparently, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there was had some, from what I don't know, clarify if you will, and I still don't understand how the man would be walking if he had some sort of back surgery a few days before this incident. So again, I don't know about that. At the end of the day, if safety protocols were supposed to be implemented in certain situations, safety protocols were then broken. So that means you were supposed to be still charged with manslaughter, and charges are not supposed to be dropped. A man is dead.
So they're trying to say his back was already injured. He had recently had back surgery, and that's why he was so brittle that when y'all was dealing with him.
There's always
is that what that was? Is that what
some sort of an excuse? There's always some sort of an excuse. Wait till there's more later on in the episodes, because again, every single episode I'll be doing this. And you can call me a race baiter all you want, but I'm sorry, murder is murder.
That is.
Because if that was a white man and them were black police officers.
Somebody go around and pull a Nat Turner. Let somebody go around and do nothing. Man, they'll throw him under the jail. After they do, man, come on, man.
If it was a white man,
it'd be Game of Thrones.
If it was a white man,
the one dude that dressed up as the Joker and killed them bunch of people, and he's still alive.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he was mentally ill.
Yeah, he was influenced by the Joker on The Dark Knight.
Oh, but he got to go to trial, and they determined that wasn't an excuse for him to go ahead and be clerical insane. The judge was like, shot that down, so he's still alive. But they used that as an excuse on the reason why they didn't shoot him. Or better yet, on the reason why they didn't shoot that piece of pile of crap that shot up all that church.
This is how common it is. There was one dude on a golf course, and he did something real heinous that if a brother would have did, he would have got killed. And they subdued him. They talked him down.
He was shooting. Down. He was shooting in the air.
He was shooting in the air.
It was just shooting in the air. He was a crazy white man.
And they took him into custody after he put the gun down.
With no violence. No violence. Not even a shoot to the big toe. No not violence. Even a shot to the big toe. And not even a shot to the big toe.
On the way to jail, they even bought him McDonald's.
No. You got two. You could see that's how messed up it is because you literally just mixed up two different situations.
Was it another one?
Okay, the situation of the older white guy when they subdued him, he was shooting in the air. He was something, a war veteran or whatever. Whatever. Okay, whatever. I get it.
Okay.
Still, not even a shoot to the big toe.
Okay.
Okay. Officers still could have lost their lives in that situation. What was the other one? And then there was not Kyle Rittenhouse. That was the young man that was not allowed to have a gun, that wasn't even supposed to be there by his uncle. Is that the one that
went to McDonald's?
Nope, that's not the one with. Oh my God, there's like so many of them.
But they're all alive.
But basically, what I'm saying here too, especially about the one with the McDonald's Burger King, he went and shot up a church and killed 9 black people. Yeah, and they bought him Burger King.
Have it your way.
Have it your way, right? Congratulations, guys. The wool will never probably leave your eyes because you're just willfully ignorant, because there's no way you can sit there and act as if it's not going on right in front of your face. You can't sit there and tell me that racism isn't still alive. Because baby, when I tell you that racism was, I don't understand though, because I didn't give a shit. I'm a millennial though. I'm an 80s baby, so it is what it is. So keep messing with me and I'll bring your kids into it.
We're here to take those rose-colored glasses off of you.
Yeah.
So that you can see the real picture.
And I can even look like a stink bug. I can be a race baiter. I can be whatever you want to call me.
A dirt dolphin.
Oh, a dirt dolphin. Yeah. God, that was entertaining, and you couldn't even get it right. My husband's not Indian. He's black. I'm a snow bunny. Get it right, remember? You want to throw racial slurs around, make sure you get the correct one for me. But okay, guys, thanks again for coming out and seeing us. We'll see you next time on F It Fridays. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get notified each and every time we drop new content for each part of the onion. Pieces.